How are you guys going? United Kingdom.
We're doing very well, thank you. Yes, very well. And yourself?
Yeah, can't complain. It's about 8:30 at night here, and I think it's about what 1:30 in the afternoon at your place.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct here in the UK.
Beautiful. Another day in lockdown.
Another day in lockdown. The long lockdown period. That's correct.
It's been a long time.
How has that all been?
Oh,
It's been. It was difficult at first, but you did get used to it, didn't you?
yeah. We sort of saw it coming, really. To be honest, I think we stopped playing about a week, 2 weeks before the lockdown was announced in the UK.
Yeah,
It was very late.
But it was late in the UK. But we sort of knew about a month and a half. I mean, at the end of January, we sort of sussed on to it, and we were getting worried in February, weren't we, about performances?
Yeah.
And then the last one we did was, I think, at the beginning of March, wasn't it? So we haven't played live since the beginning of March, which for us, I think, first of all, it was just shock value, I think.
Yeah.
And we used to playing 50, 60 shows a year, so every weekend, it's the same sort of thing.
Wow.
We prepare ourselves, you know what I mean? We rest on the Friday, we play on Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday. And yeah, it was just a bit of a shock at first. It took us a fair few weeks.
Yeah, a month or so, just to get our heads around it.
Yeah. Well, I've seen you've done a couple of live streams to sort of kill time and still keep the live chops alive.
Yeah, they're really good, aren't they? Really successful. You have to rehearse them because obviously they want to be exactly perfect. And then when you record it, they're really good fun, aren't they?
Yeah, I think
It's nice because the people that sometimes wouldn't get the chance to go to our gigs normally because of work or other reasons get to see a live performance from home, which is nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they're supporting on Facebook, they don't always get out to see the live show, so we've been able to hit those people, which has been brilliant for the band.
Well, that's again a great opportunity, especially for sort of fans abroad, fans, like myself. I've really looked up a lot of the videos on your YouTube channel and stuff, and it's such good live music because it gets people up and dancing. It's got these really cool sort of reggae ska beats and stuff. It's amazing. So I could imagine it would be a little bit difficult sort of to get that vibe from your living room when you're used to playing in front of people. How has that been?
Well, I think that's been easy for us because we sort of go on the thesis that every gig is a show, and it doesn't matter where we're playing or how many people are there. If it's a wedding and there's 30 people on the dance floor, if we're in a really small pub where we're all sort of like that. For us it's still a show, and we're on the same show as if we were playing Wembley, if we ever got to play Wembley. And that's, for us, it's just a chance to play. And I think for me personally, when I was about 19, 20, a fellow musician who was sort of learning my trade off said to me, you need to treat every gig like it's the last gig you're ever going to do because you never know. And since then, I was like, wow, okay. So that's, I think, essentially what we do, even when we're in our living room at home.
Yeah.
So it's actually an easy transition for us. I think the hard thing for us is that by the time we got around to actually doing the lockdown video, it was probably 5 or 6 weeks after we'd been gigging or playing, and which was the longest period for me in the last, 12 years of my life for not playing. 6, 7 weeks was a long time. And so when we actually, we'll do some rehearsals, and we sat up in here and we rehearsed, and I think we got to the third song before we just all died, and said, wow, this job, you need quite a lot of energy, you need to be fit. So and in all honesty, I think we did that, probably 5 times we came in this room, we didn't get to it,
When you gig a lot, you do gain that stamina over a season. Every weekend you learn to really cope with the kind of toll on your body, like the physical aspect of it. So when you come to do the same amount of time that you usually do, it was so difficult, wasn't it? It was like, oh no.
Yeah.
So after, so we got to it though.
Yeah, we got it back.
We got it back.
Yeah, great. And you guys also have, I suppose, as a band, a little bit of a luxury because you're all in the same family, which is which is quite unique. Yeah, and that is actually that is one of my main questions tonight. It's like, how is that to be a family and be a band together? That must be the dream. Like, it must be. I suppose you would have some challenges as well, but that would be, yeah. Tell me a bit about that.
It's a funny story, really, because when we started this band in really late 2006, we had the idea of this band, and at the time Jodie was 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. So you know, she wasn't really involved in it then, and then through the band's story, she's become really involved. And I suppose about 5-6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, she started selling CDs at gigs, and then we thought, well, you know, she might as well do some backups, some harmonies. We could do with another harmony. And then that just sort of progressed, you know. In fact, for a year, I think you took photographs, didn't you? And
yeah, I learned how to use the camera. Just took pictures of you on stage, well, at gigs, obviously. But it was good to learn to use a camera and stuff. It was good to...
Yeah, so it's been a natural progression, I suppose, isn't it? It's been a natural progression. But and for now, it's, you know, it's never easy. Do you know what I mean? Because you're in the same house, but the goods outweigh the bads, because we're always here. If you've got a song and you need someone to put some harmonies down, or you need a verse, do you know what I mean? You've had an idea, and I'm like, girls, you know, they're doing something else, and suddenly everyone's downstairs at 10 o'clock at night, and we're all doing a vocal, you know, or playing a part. So for that, it's fantastic, and it makes us as singers, it makes us really tight, because we practice all the time at home, and there's no real restrictions really.
It hasn't almost been as well like a choice so much for me to be in the band. It's been something that I've been around all my life from really young. I've always had people making music in the house, and it's been something that I've not even had to think about kind of incorporating into my life. It just always kind of has been, hasn't it? And it's so nice to have it around me and be involved in it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
I suppose the whole band name would probably also have a little bit to sort of go with, you know, like you're passing on the legacy to your kids. Is there a specific reason behind the actual name of the band?
Yeah, there is really. I mean, it started 2006, and we myself and Yasmin, we were living in London. We'd just come back from London. We'd taken a band up there about 4 years previously, and it didn't work out, so we came home to Exeter, to Devon, and we just had Jodie as well, and she was a young baby. So we sort of gave it a break for a couple of years, and I've done music all my life, and because of Jodie, we gave it a break. In fact, we started up our own. We had a valeting business. We used to valet cars. And we had a really good week one week in about 2006, wasn't there? We had a client ring us up. We normally went and saw for about 1 day a week. They rang us up and said, "Hey, look, you know, someone's painted their house next door, and it's covered all 50 cars with white paint. Can you come and get it off?" So we were like, "Yeah, we can do that." So we spent the next 3 or 4 days removing house paint off all these lovely new cars, and we earned something like nearly £2,000 in 1 week, which for us was a lot of money. And the first thing we did with it was we went out and bought a new guitar, because I didn't really have a great guitar. So, and I bought myself a Faith guitar, and we also bought a computer for, you know, to get online, I suppose.
Yeah.
And this was in 2006, and that really was the start of it. But what we wanted to do was we wanted to break away from the genres, because I've been in rock bands, I've been in indie bands, and
they're always very stuck. People love to genre-lise something.
And even radio stations, you know, if it's, you know, on Friday night you get one sort of music, and then, you know, and the rest of the week you get what they want you to listen to, depending on what the year is or fashion at the time. And for us, we liked all sorts of music. You know, we liked, you know, I've been brought up on blues like Muddy Waters, and we love reggae like Bob Marley. And we also love drum and bass, and, you know, and
Talking Heads,
and pop. We like pop music as well. You know, we like a lot of wide variety, and I think people do. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to do that. We didn't want any restrictions. We didn't want a record company saying, "No, you can't do that. You've got to label yourself." So we thought we'd come up with a name that fitted that. So whilst we all sat down and talked about it, and the guy that was in the band, you know, featuring in the band at the time, a guy called Wisely. he said, why don't we call it NUMB? And he said, yeah, we like that. Why would you call it that? And he said, well, it stands for Never Underestimate Musical Belief. We were like, that's it. So it's sort of stuck, you know, and it's been our motto, you know. And in the first couple of years, whenever we were trying to approach business, we used to end it with never underestimate musical belief, you know, and they used to tie people in, and we still believe it to this day. And like you say, for a legacy for, you know, for our child, you know, and it sort of fits now as well. Jodie's coming to the band, and it's a message of positivity as well. You know what I mean?
For sure. But that's again, I think for me again, I've got a couple of little boys too, and again, I would love to be able to pass on, you know, the whole music as a lifestyle to them. But it's been like for me at the moment, it's been really difficult to sort of find the right way to sort of bridge it across. But for you, it seems like it's been supernatural because you guys have been gigging all the time. How would that be sort of like a natural transition to get like to sort of try and still teach music across to your kids without sort of having all the gigs? Because I remember you mentioned that she was like a photographer and she was selling CDs at the shows and stuff. How would that be a possibility to maybe do something at home?
Well, I always believe that the music's a very free thing. You know, we say we write our songs, but they grow themselves and they do what they want to do in a sense. And I think music is like that. It's very different for everyone. It's a very personal thing. For instance, my niece very recently, a couple of years ago, started piano lessons, and at school they enforced classical music on her. You know, I love classical music and I appreciate classical music, but if someone forces one type of music on you continuously, you lose it, you know. So when I talk to her and I say, you know, what songs do you like? She says, I like Adele, you know. And so, you know, I went away and I learned Adele on the piano. So next time I could see her, we'd have and suddenly she started playing it and she was there at the piano for 2 hours. You know, it's all about what they like to do, and you need to encourage it. It's a freedom, you know.
It's a freedom.
A couple of times we tried to push Jodie with it to come on, you know, do the band thing. And the more we push, the less she wants to do, in a sense. I suppose everyone wants to do. So you've got to let them find their own feet, you know. And I just think it's mainly about enjoyment.
I think, a lot of when I was growing up, you were constantly showing me different types of music, and you were showing me artists like Lauryn Hill and, you know, like Trans-Global Underground and, you know, all sorts of stuff, from Backstreet Boys to Cypress Hill, do you know what I mean? And to Justin Bieber.
I just had a little bit of a little glitch with my headphones here, so I'm just gonna connect them over here. Hopefully they'll connect back up. Let's see how this works here. We're in the middle. We've got our whole house. We're in the middle of packing the house down. We're moving house on the weekend, so everything has just been completely upside down. And for whatever reason, the actual charger for my phone has been disconnected. So all of a sudden here, I just lost. I lost my audio on my headphones. So I'll just try and see for now if I can just run it through the laptop here. Can you guys still hear me?
So where are you moving to? Yeah, we can still hear you.
Yeah, good. We actually, we actually sold the house in order to try and get a little bit of a breathing space financially, especially so I can actually try and get music back into our kids' life. So that's again why I've been super interesting to talk to talk to a lot of guests about, you know, lifestyle and especially how to make music a profitable business, of just make it not necessarily profitable, but at least make it sustainable. So for me, this or like everything I'm doing here actually started as a whole part of the lockdown. So that's sort of my story in regards to talking to you today. Is that about, so 2.5 months ago, when everything sort of really hit home here in Perth, I just needed to not having to turn on the TV and look at, death and destruction all the time. So I just started talking to old music friends, and then they said, oh, you should talk to this guy, you should talk to that guy, and then all of a sudden it just spiraled, and it got me completely away from looking at coronavirus and looking at all that stuff, and it sort of reconnected me with with music, because music was an integral part of my life, 10, 15 years ago. So it's been so motivating and so empowering to talk to all these crazy good musicians and cool bands from all around the world. I've been talking to Mitch, which is a friend of yours as well. And again, hearing his band, hearing your band, hearing all these bands that I would never ever have come across if it wasn't because this coronavirus happened, and I just happened to get this crazy idea that I just wanted to talk to a couple of old music mates and just do it on a live stream. So
great idea.
Yeah, and look, it's been a really fascinating journey that has just been so rewarding for me. It's been rewarding for the guests and for a lot of the people that have been watching either live or later when the stream is over and you can go back and restream it. So hopefully it'll be something that we can spend. We've sold the house, we've got a new rental, but that gives us all the equity here. We can then use to try and give it a chance for a couple of months. Connect with more and more people, and get some more ideas, get some more music, and just try and expose, share the music to people out there.
That's what we did, isn't it?
Yeah, that is what we do. We try to. We know what it's like to really struggle, but at the same time, it's about getting yourself into a position where you have the time to do those things. And we homeschooled Jodie throughout her childhood. She didn't go to school, so we could have that time together with the family, but also to get the projects going, wasn't it? And it's working yourself in a position where you're not paying out to the government or the bills or everything like that, and keeping it low, so you don't need as much, basically. You don't need 2 massive wages coming into the house. You just need enough to keep going, isn't it? And that's what we try to do.
And that is spot on. That is exactly what we want to try and achieve. So we have more time together, because I think that's also something that this whole coronavirus, the whole silver lining of that is, everybody realized or most people realize how important it is to have time together.
And the government's always pushing you to not have that time together. You've got to have your 2 wages and your mortgage and and so on and so on. And you don't have time to be creative and enjoy your life necessarily.
Exactly. And you see so many people have reconnected with old hobbies. Because all of a sudden they have, they actually have the time now, because you aren't allowed to go anywhere. Borders are closed. You can't even go to the house next door. So you just got to stay at home. And what do? You go on YouTube. You learn a new instrument. You learn a language. You talk to again. You reconnect with old friends and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's much like having, they say, when you have a death in your family or a great shock in your family, then it makes you question life, doesn't it? It puts you in that situation where you question what are you doing yourself. Yeah. And I think people come across that naturally in life anyway, and I think this virus has done exactly that for a lot of people.
Everybody.
And I think it makes you value, what you've enjoyed in your life, and it gives you the time to stop and think, hang on a minute, I like music, and I was doing that, 10, 12 years ago. Why am I not doing that now? Why can't I do that? We've always believed that, we've always believed that this is what we should be doing.
Yeah.
But, the transitional phase for us has taken, this is 13 years in, 13 and a bit years in.
It's doing well.
But it's doing well. We wanted to, one of the goals for us, we were talking about goals the other day. One of the goals for us, it wasn't, to get to number 1 was our first goal was to be sustainable and to pay the bills. There's no education like that in our country anyway. I'd say, look, if you go along and you become, really good and you can read music, you can become a session musician and you can earn this much playing and this much recording and you'll need this equipment. But no one teaches you that. And it's in the music industry, I thought when I was young, it would be a band of brothers that everyone would help you. And in fact, a lot of it is people holding secrets because exploiting other people, and you have to steer your way through that.
A lot of it has been you learn things, don't you? You have to self-teach yourself a lot of different aspects that you wouldn't have known in order to grow and propel yourself forward and get to where you want to be, and have people listen to what you create and enjoy it. That is probably the best feeling.
the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot from some of the other guests as well, that say that like the feeling of going on stage and seeing other people sort of singing along and enjoying your music is one of the most rewarding feelings you can get, because they are there and they're enjoying your music, stuff that you've created.
Yeah, it's the best feeling for sure. For sure. So people say when we're loading the gear at the end, they say you must hate this bit. You must hate, packing down your gear and putting it away. We don't. We love it. We love. I think if you want to be a musician, you've got to love all of it. We like packing it away. And, I'm sure it's tiring driving home at 3 o'clock in the morning. You've got another 2 hours to go. But that's part of the job. And we love every bit of it. For us. So for us, I suppose a lot of it seemed quite easy.
Yeah.
And you got to love it at the end of the day. It's a hard job.
Well, I suppose it becomes a lifestyle. So again, you just gotta be happy with that lifestyle.
Takes me.
So how are you guys treating the band as a business? Because obviously, like you're playing a lot of gigs on your Facebook page. I think it said you've played about 800 shows. You've supported a couple of quite international, like big international acts as well. How are you treating it as a business to try and make money and grow it?
Well, we diversified a lot, didn't we?
I think playing is key first of all. So getting as many gigs as you can, and I think that's what sustains. So we have sort of regular clients. So those are the ones that sustain us. And then on top of that, we do festivals, we do music venues. So we'll do any gig, party, and to some degree, but they need to pay us, and that's kind of key. And that's what we said about 5 years ago. We changed 6 years ago. We sort of changed things, and we invested. Your mum died, didn't she? And she left us a little bit of money, so we invested that in a PA and a van, and we.
And the studio.
We picked up some regular clients, which are what we call the bread and butter, I suppose. And then on top of that, we get festivals, we sell CDs, we get.
Our first 2 years, we played every gig we could.
Yeah.
Because we just wanted for nothing, And I think, in fact, in the first 2 years, we committed to it. I think that's what we've got to do first of all. The first year, I think we spent £25,000 in fuel and van costs just to get to gigs. And then our first year we did 180 gigs, 179 gigs. And if people, we were known for it. We'd be coming back from a gig from London, and it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning. The phone would go, and they'd say, "What are you doing this afternoon? On Sunday at 4 o'clock? Well, we're not doing anything. Can you get yourselves to Colchester?" So we sort of come away from there. We can do it. So we did every single gig, and it got us a lot of attention, and it learned us our trade. We probably played some bad gigs, but it learned us our trade, and everyone got a lot better. And then for the following, I suppose, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, we just did every gig we could that started to get paid. But we did a lot of festival gigs, and it meant it kept the numbers down because we only gigged in the summer. And then, like I said, about 6 years ago, my mum died, and it gave us that time to think about the virus. And we thought, look, we've got to monetize this and turn it into a business. What we were trying to do.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about millions. We're talking about, just paying bills. So, like I said, we bought the PA, we bought the van, and we enabled ourselves to approach venues and pubs with our own music. And people said, you probably won't do that because it's your own music. But because we've been doing it for 7 years, people have seen our videos and they knew we were out there. So we were sort of quite well known within our small area, and it enabled us to get those gigs. And then I suppose, we were one of the first bands doing those sort of gigs with our own stuff and continuously doing it. And we thought that if we can get a number of these gigs, we can do 50 shows a year, and then it will pay for the van, and it will pay for the petrol, and it will pay for the internet, and it will pay for the cost of the band.
And all the programs that you guys used to do, like Logic Pro, you produced all the albums that we get doing it.
So we Yeah, so we've had to learn a lot, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got the DIY kind of approach, isn't it?
You know, on our first couple of years, we did really well. We got off a couple of deals. We got offered some big deals. In fact, in our first year, we got offered, we got our song Nighttime on a Brit comedy film with Mackenzie Crook, Cole Meany, and a few other people.
Oh, wow.
And through a friend that was working through the film company, and it was we knew someone, and they said, look, I heard you've got this song Nighttime, and the people in my office really like it. Do you want to put it on film? We were like, yeah. So, in 6 months' time, we were walking the red carpet in Leicester Square. We were living on bread and butter, which is why we wrote the song Bread and Butter on our first album. We were literally producing these albums in our living room at home on bread and butter. And then the next week, we were up at Leicester Square on the red carpet on the big screen, on TV, on Sky News. And then the following week, we were at home eating bread and butter and beans on toast. And then the following week, we were sitting in, where was that hotel? The Dorchester, with the head of this record company saying, how would you like 10 million if you do 5 albums? It was, we want to cast 5 albums. Tell us how much, So it was crazy. It was crazy times, but we didn't know what we were doing. And we had all these offers. I remember Yaz one night, and I was looking for something to eat in the cupboard. And I was saying, so how much is the first album? She was saying, well, with promo on 2 singles, it's going to be £750,000. But on the second album, it's going to be 2 years' time. So we need to add, obviously, inflation, And we were eating beans on toast. So, we didn't know what we were doing. And we've learned all that, as well as, every time we've come across something and you want it done well, for instance, 7 years ago, we wanted another video done, and we said to someone, how much for a video? And they said £14,000. We were like, what? £14,000? So we looked at a camera, and the camera was £2,000 that he was using. So we thought, okay, we'll get that. So we bought that, but it took us 4 years to learn to use the camera. And then you've got to learn how to edit the footage you're taking and use the program. So, we educate ourselves a lot, and we do all of it ourselves. We shoot our own videos. We record our own albums. We have lots of help from other people. We have friends that help us master. We have people in the industry that, doing really well, that we phone up and say, look, how do we do this? And we are homegrown, aren't we? We do the best we can with what we got. We juggle the jobs we think need to be juggled in order to sustain an income, and keep doing it. You know what I mean?
But all your your videos and everything looks sensational. So for you guys to do them yourself is a massive credit. Have you always been doing them yourself?
Except for the first one, except for Nighttime.
Except for Nighttime.
Yeah, we've done all the rest.
We did that with a company called Realm, and that was great. That was
back in 2007.
I was 12, 13 years old, and it was quite cool then, brought through people in the videos and stuff, and they did it all on green screen. And we were like, what? But, we've had to learn to do all that ourselves. We've had to learn how to use the camera. We've had to learn everything about the camera. We've had to learn everything about filming and color grading and correcting and editing, and getting what's up here.
We like watching
films as you would for a client, So, we see, like I said, we see film, we go, how do they do that? So, and the same with production. We've done stuff with producers, and we've spent good money, and it's been brilliant. But, we can't afford to keep producing an album, and an album really costs, in this country, you need a producer and you need a studio. It's going to be around 30 grand to get something of quality, and most bands like ourselves and, in our position and yourselves, it's difficult to do. So learning it to do it yourself is a good idea. It's a big commitment, but it's well worth it.
Yeah, and it obviously it also gives you that as an extra trade. Like you understand the process of doing it.
And we have done jobs for other people.
Yeah, we do. We do production and videos for other people as well.
Friends, someone.
So that helps as well.
Yeah.
And obviously that goes back into the band after you've done that. Right back into the band.
Yeah, good. So you are we both recording and shooting videos for other artists?
Yeah, when we get a bit of time to do it, and if it's like a single artist or something, we'll do a deal and just do something simple for them. Yeah, but yeah, which in itself is a learning experience for us, isn't it? So yeah, we do. We'll get involved.
Yeah, if we love it, we'll give it a
go. Yeah.
Fantastic, man. Is that also how you got around to doing these live streams, or because I'm assuming that would probably have been a brand new thing as well.
Well,
it was evolved because of the lockdown.
Yeah, it evolved obviously because we were pushed into it a little bit more because of the lockdown, and we've done a couple of live videos with single tracks before, where we've sat in here, the four of us, and, just done it acoustically and then set it up. But we've never done a 15-minute or an hour live stream. So we thought, that'd be easy, And then again, we had to learn about the quality of your footage and how you stream it, how you upload it, what equipment you need. And again, a lot of this stuff we didn't know. We first filming it, we're looking at the files, and they're, instead of 300 megabytes for a video, they're 5 gigabytes. And we're like, and a lot of places won't take, so you
need to run and quickly order a new hard drive.
Everything you do is like, okay, I've got to know about that, Or the next video we're doing at the moment, you're thinking, okay, what's happening in that video? And then what we're doing with that scene. And then so I'm in the morning sometimes, I'm sitting here on YouTube doing tutorials, how to film, how to edit that so it turns out how I want. And some people don't know how to do. I think if I watch it, then, and that's what we all do. We sit down, and you watch that and you think, okay.
Yeah. I came down the other morning and I saw the storyboard spread across the kitchen table for two only boys. I was like, oh, dad's up then.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. That's right.
But that is, it's so cool that you guys are doing it as a family. I'm so inspired by that. That is, yeah, awesome.
We're very lucky. We know we're lucky.
Yeah. But you obviously have other people in the band as well. So I noticed on one of your streams that you were connecting up with your drummer who is somewhere else in the country, and you were all sort of playing together. How did you get those logistics to work? Like for everybody to sort of be in sync during the stream?
All our live shows, they're pre-recorded, but they're pre-recorded live. So what we do is they're recorded at the same time, but they're lined up. They're checked and lined, make sure that everything's in time at the end. So what you do is when you air it, you don't get the glitches. You can still get glitches. Do you know what I mean? But it means actually, it looks better, and you can manipulate the sound a little bit in production. You can compress it a little bit and make it sound good without doing all that at the same time and spending thousands of pounds on equipment. And then it's down to, we learn as well, it's down to the people streaming it. Some people get poor quality and some people get good quality.
Depending on your streaming.
But the essence of it for us is that it was a live recording, and that it wasn't like a studio album where you go in, you record a song, and then someone says, oh, I'm going to record that, just that part, and you could go back and do it. You couldn't do that with this.
Yeah.
So it was
real time.
It was a real-time live recording, you know what I mean? So, which is why we rehearsed so much, so we knew, so we thought, okay, we've got to get this right. So we knew, and we spent, I suppose, nearly 2 weeks in rehearsals getting ready for it, until we knew we were ready. And because there was no time limit on it, when we were ready, we said, yeah, we're ready. Someone said, yeah, I'm ready. And then you go for it. And
with lockdown as well, we had freedom to kind of rehearse for a couple of weeks, and then when we were kind of ready to get the take, we would try one day and then no, I'm not quite, in perfect,
yes, right.
in the perfect sound state of mind today, and then come back the second day and we all feel really, really good about it, and I think that was the one.
That's right, I'm really bad today, we can't do it today. I'm really bad day. That's right.
Awesome, man. So because I remember when I started up doing this live stream, and it's a whole new science, and you just gotta it's a new trade you gotta learn. So you gotta learn how but
you've got to be quite good at it, haven't you, as well?
Well, again, it's one of those things, you learn organically and you learn by doing. So you just got to keep doing it. You got to keep finding out, oh, that'll work. And like yourself, go on YouTube. Like everything's on YouTube. If there's something.
Yes, I love YouTube.
Yeah, if there's something you need to learn, it'll be like someone would have a tutorial and you just go around, you follow, this one is pretty good. This sort of describes it to my level, so I understand it.
Slowly.
Exactly, yeah. So like basic, like 6-year-old sort of level. But
no, that's right.
I need to pause this bit and rewind.
Me too.
Yeah. So in regards to sort of COVID, what is the restrictions looking like in the UK at the moment? Is there anything looking to sort of clear up at the moment? Because I think we're obviously very lucky here, being extremely isolated. So I'm like here, pretty much everything is opening, is back to normal as of tomorrow. So venues are back. There's live music and stuff. But how's everything? How's everything in the UK? And is it different in certain parts?
No, it's all the same at the moment. I mean, next Monday, the shops, the 15th, the shops are opening, and the schools were going back, but they're not going back now.
Yeah, not going
they won't go back to September.
And it's been heard that Boris was also planning on opening on the 22nd pubs and cafes for some outdoor distance stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, they reckon they're going to open it slowly over the next couple of months. But as far as I think for what we're concerned, live music, I'm not sure how long that's going to be. It's social distancing is still meant to be in place
at 2 meters.
At 2 meters, even though it's difficult to see that when you go out. I think we feel in the UK we feel quite let down. Obviously, you see the graphs every day. I'm sure people around the world are watching, and I suppose as they are in America somewhat, we've been the 2 worst affected places. So I think from the individual point of view, though, everyone's been, like us, are being very cautious. We're shielding in this house. We're still going out buying our food, and but really apart from that, we're not really going out at all. As far as live gigs go, none of our clients at the moment we know are going to open. Hopefully, maybe we'll go back, we reckon, in September, but it could be Christmas, it could be New Year. We haven't got a clue. We really don't know. We might be able to do some outside gigs. Yeah, but yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Oh, that's again, it's so sad, because this whole industry, when you are playing music, like you're so relying on being in front of people and being having an audience. And it's like obviously like it's logic. If you have to social distance, you can't play in front of a full venue because everybody's it's just crammed together. So, but I suppose
the art.
Sorry?
The arts rely on people, the arts, theatre,
exactly.
Music, they rely on people, on the vibe of people being together and enjoying and making that vibe. It's nice having a live band, but the people that are 50% of it, they're in there, and the vibe of the people all together makes the band play even better. It's a crucial part. We know people that said, even if it does go back, they're probably going to give it a wide berth for the next year or so, because they're worried,
Yeah.
So.
But it's like every time I talk to someone about it, especially when I know the UK is a little bit more affected, it just gets me that it's a whole world. Like it's so unfathomable, man. So when you when you talk to musicians, they are, it doesn't matter where they're from. I've been talking to people from the States, from Canada, from Sweden, UK, and everybody is just in the same boat. Which is it's just nuts to think about, really.
It is. You actually think, oh, I don't like it here at the moment, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go and live somewhere in another country. Oh, well, there's nowhere to go. I'm trapped.
Yeah, where are you going to go? You can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere and play any shows. So, but So how, are you planning on doing sort of anything else except for the live stream to sort of trying to keep that connection to fans alive? Have you got anything else on the program?
The music video.
Yeah, we've got a new music video coming up. We're doing a feature slot, I was saying, with Ashley Slater earlier, who's featuring on a track. Jodie's doing a lot of the vocals for that, and we're just preparing a video for that at the moment, and organising a video shoot, which will be in the next, I suppose, 6 weeks. And then hopefully we'll have that video out in the next 3 months. And we've talked about maybe doing 2 or 3 releases from now up to Christmas, to keep people interested and to keep us doing what we're doing. But essentially at the moment we've done 4 albums. We're in the midst of writing our 5th album, and it's given us a perfect opportunity to really concentrate on it and be a little bit more specific about what we want out of it. So we've written a ridiculous amount of songs in this period. We've probably written 25, 30 songs.
Wow.
And there's a wall over there just covered in lyrics, just on top of each other. And at the moment, we've got 2 songs that we're happy with out of those 25, 30 songs. So that's what we're doing, is we've been really choosy and used the time to do a lot of things we can't really do. People say, I've been able to, water my plants and do that in the garden. Yeah, we have. And we've been able to do the same in the business. We've been able to clean a house a little bit. We've been able to say, right, we need to get, write a script for that. We need to write a few more songs. We need a new website because our provider was changing over. So we had to design a whole website. And again, we couldn't afford, the £500-600 for someone to design it. So I had to learn. So we did all that ourselves. And that took 2 or 3 weeks in between doing the videos and the lockdown live videos. So yeah, we've been keeping ourselves really, really busy after the first shock, haven't we? And we're enjoying having the time, obviously not enjoying what's going on, but enjoying having the time to actually have a think and sit back a little bit and plan our future. I suppose a lot of musicians there, you do make plans, but you also plan off the cuff things come along, you go with what's thrown at you. But for us, it's given us a time to actually sit back and plan it as if you were looking, from another point of view. So it's been really good in that sense.
But it's also it's really good to hear that you are sort of very hands-on. It's very DIY. So again, like you're saying, you're creating the website too. You're shooting the videos. You're recording the music. It's like you don't even need to leave the house, really.
Nothing's changed for us, Stephen. Nothing's changed for us.
That's I love it.
There's something going on outside. No idea.
Fantastic. Well, I know. I mean, obviously, eventually, you do want to come out and connect to the fans, whenever the sky's blue again and all that. But But it's so cool to hear that you are so productive. And also, again, as we mentioned earlier, you're very lucky that you also you are your family, but you also the actual the core of the band. So in regards to the songwriting, is that mainly the 3 of you that be doing that, and then the other guys? Because I think when I looked up on your website, the only the band is credited as a drummer as well. Have you got any other band members except for the 3 of you and a drummer?
Yeah, we go out with different lineups quite a lot of the time. We mainly go out with a drummer. All the festivals we do, we go out. Sometimes we go out maybe with a bass player as well. So we've got a full lineup. Yeah. And then some of the bigger festivals we do, we have guest people in. So we'll have brass, for instance. We'll have someone like Ray Beavers came out with us quite a lot. That did the song out of Irie Prophet. So yeah, we have lots of people. It depends what the stage is, and it depends how big the stage is and what their budget is and what's going on. We like to play with everyone that does, lots of it all the time. But, sometimes it doesn't suit that. Sometimes the venue's too small, and sometimes we go out just 3 of us. There's a couple of gigs that we really like. Funny enough, people say, you can't like those small gigs. In fact, we like them. We love them. We do
very intimate.
We do a little gig in Top Nest, and they brew their own beer, and it's teeny. You barely get in, and people come through the door like that. We're like that. But the vibe is just amazing. It's the best. It's one of the best shows we do, and we absolutely love it. Wholeheartedly, and honestly, we really love it. So
yeah. Well, I suppose that also, again, gives you that extra diversity that you can play different size venues. You've got different constellations. So you can have your big band with your brass section in this setup, and you can do, your smaller venues when it's just like a trio or maybe a drummer or something like that. So it sort of allows you to sort of cater for different venues and a broader audience.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, so back to the question about the songwriting. So is that mainly the three of you, and how does a song sort of come to life? Because you mentioned before that you had written about 20 odd songs during lockdown, which is very productive.
Yes, very productive. I mean, Ben, he's probably the main songwriter. It's hard to get at, but we all write. There's different ways, right? And sometimes it will get a bit in. We'll just write, like you just called us earlier, just jamming, and we'll do something. We'll put in something together. Or Ben sits at the Mac and
plays around the back and track.
Or sometimes someone's singing something in the bathroom and they're like,
that's good.
What's that? I can't say, we're singing. I don't know, just got to choose. Stay there. Say, oh no, really. So the phone comes out, we put a little bit of guitar through it, and we just get all the ideas we've got on a phone, like now, and we film them, and then we watch them later. And you watch them later, and sometimes you go, that's dreadful. What? We were drunk or something, or high on a performance, And other times you listen to it and you go, hey, that's really good. That's a good idea. Can we expand on that? Sometimes. And does it have it's a bit like a plant, isn't it? You give it a little bit of water and you go like that, don't you?
Sometimes you'll come to me and I'll come down in the morning and you'll go, I've got this beat, listen to this, and then you'll go, think of any hooks for that, and I'll listen to it and sing a bit, and then you'll go, I like that, but do it a bit higher there, and work from there, and Mum will be like, the rap could go like this, and then before you know it, you've got like a song and it just kind of jumps at you, doesn't it? Yeah, that's true.
They all start in a very basic form.
Yeah.
And then, generally, a lot of time from the acoustic guitar, someone sitting down and someone else humming, and then it goes. And if it sticks, it sticks. And sometimes, it sticks and we record it, we're happy with it, and we play it live and we hate it.
Right.
And the other thing is, we were saying the other day, is that you write a song and sometimes you think to yourself, if we play this live and people like it, we might be playing it for another 10 years. So you've got to really like it, because you might be playing the song for 10 years you don't really like. Sometimes you do them and then you think, I don't like that song. So, I suppose we're choosy now. We're very choosy.
It's quite ambitious writing as well. Sometimes you write songs that are, quite high or quite a strong vocal consistently throughout the whole song. And it sounds amazing when you record it, and then you have to learn to get that song up to a live standard and play it like that every time and not kill yourself.
Yeah, sometimes you write a song beyond your capabilities and it takes a while to nail it,
Yeah.
I could imagine.
You write the way out of your box.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's also cool because you obviously have three different vocals in the band. So there would be sort of a little bit for everybody, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you
I know. If you're a lead singer on your own, you've got to do it all. You've got to come up with all the ideas. It's got to be continuously interesting. If you've got other people, then other styles come in, and it's and you get more to choose from, more heads in a positive way. Works really well, I think.
So going sort of again, like I said, I went in and had a read through your Facebook page, and I can see you've supported some pretty big international acts, including Arrested Development, and I think it said Peter Andre or something like that. How did you land those gigs?
Well, I think
have we got asked by the promoter?
You either get asked by the promoter, or you're a little bit pushy. I think in the beginning we were quite pushy, and can we play there? We support there
as well.
Yeah, and also do it for fun. We don't get paid a lot for these gigs, but they're good exposure, and if it pays for itself and you get to meet Arrested Development, then it's great. It's a great show. We've played them a few times now.
Oh wow!
And they're lovely people. And we're good friends, and we chat. Yaz chats to speech all the time, and they're just really nice people. Some people are, some people aren't. It's lucky dip, I suppose.
Yeah. So how was that to sort of share the stage with some of those really big acts?
It was an amazing experience. It was very, very inspiring, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they're amazing live as well. So you get a good show.
Fantastic, vocal performance, and the choreography that the girls have in Arrested Development is something that I really want to aim for.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's inspiring. What it is. It's really inspiring, which I suppose is why we do it. I suppose why they do it as well. part of it's what they do. But it's a great opportunity, you know. Whenever we've been given those opportunities or seen those opportunities, we've grabbed them. I think they're really good for a band for exposure, and I think they're good for a band to learn things, you know. You know, in an area that you know, music we're similar, you know, pretty similar to. We're doing sort of hip hop stuff. It's good to watch the people that you like listening to. You know, I think nearly everybody had that Arrested Development album, as well as they did the Lauryn Hill album or the Dire Straits album, isn't it? You know, to be playing on stage with people like that we were listening to it was a big thing. It was fantastic. You know, it was a big buzz, wasn't it?
I've heard you play Tennessee since I was very, very small. So for me, watching the people actually play, it was crazy. I was quite starstruck, actually.
Oh, I could imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's one of those things, you know, when actually one day you get to share the stage with some of your idols, you know, that must be a dream.
Yeah. When you guys supported Peter Andre, Stushy were one of the support bands as well, and they were very big at the time, and they did a song called Black Heart, which is a really big pop song at the time, and I didn't realise until I think a week after that it was that Stushy that I listened to. It's not like, oh my God, we played on the same stage, you played on the same stage as Stushy, and I wasn't in the band yet. I was so excited.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Yeah, good fun, sure.
So, what would be if you have to sort of go back and look at some of the previous live experiences? Would you have any sort of highlights? Something that really stands out as being some really memorable gigs?
That's a difficult one.
Because if you played over 800 shows, I'm sure there would be quite a bit to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's a brilliant gig at Watch It last year. Yeah, really good gig at Watch It Festival. The festivals are good. You know, sometimes the smaller venues, and when someone tells you, they say, look, you're going to play at a festival on a Saturday night and you're going to be the penultimate or the last band of the night, you're thinking to yourself, wow, you know, this sounds quite important, you know. And subconsciously, you know, you've got to give it your all, as we try to every gig, you know. And I think that makes for a good gig, you know. That, you know, when you've achieved things like that, you know what I mean. And I think if you're playing regularly and you're confident about your talent or your ability, then that makes for a good gig as well. You know, I think, you know, poor practice and things like that don't make for good gigs. You know, good practice, being prepared, being able to enjoy it rather than stressing out. Is good ingredient to a good gig.
Well, I suppose it also comes with you know, experience. If you guys have been playing for, you know, I think you said you started the band was in 2006 or something. Then obviously when you had that many years behind you, you know, it would build up quite a bit of experience.
It does.
It's knowing what to expect, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It doesn't mean it doesn't go away. The fear doesn't go away. You know, sometimes, you know, you're stood behind a curtain that's 40 foot high almost, you know, and this curtain's 50 foot wide, and you can get the sense that behind this curtain is a very big stage with a big audience. You know, you stood there and you can't help think to yourself, what am I doing here? You know, it's frightening. I suppose we all feel that, but it fuels the adrenaline. You remember that this could be your last gig. You remember your experience, and you go on and you try and enjoy it and smash the hell out of it by saying it.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of given the concert experience that you guys have had, it would be amazing. So. Another thing that I like to sort of ask people about is where you are sort of hoping to take this. So have you got any sort of long-term goals? You mentioned you were up to your 5th album now. What's the plans with that album? How are you gonna sort of market that and ultimately direct the band in the future?
We were talking about this earlier. Actually, we were talking about our goals, weren't we? And I suppose what we did in the end is we split them down. You know, we want to be doing bigger gigs. You know, we want to sell more albums. And for us, we want bigger experiences. We want better experiences. You know, we love playing live. We'd like to do more live, and we'd like to do bigger live. But you know, we break it down. We want to concentrate on everything and make it good. You know, so the video we're doing at the moment, we're spending a lot of time thinking about it and talking about it and organising it, arranging it. You know, doing prep shots. There was just a recording of the song. We've got a few people featured on it. We've got a friend from mine from London, does a lot of session work. He's the bass player on it. So, there's a lot to bring in for it, isn't there? So we concentrate on our goals, and
we try to
compartmentalize and make them into small steps in order to get to the bigger goal.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
The things we've been doing more recently are getting lots of feature arts in, just developing on songwriting and being, as we said, really picky with the quality. And out of the songs we write, we have to make sure that the best song they can be before we.
Yeah,
it's nice to be heard by more people.
Yeah, if we're making a video, we want 100,000 people to see it in the first, instead of 20,000, which we released a video at Christmas and it did 25,000 in 3 weeks. And last year on Facebook, I think we did over 100,000 views just on Facebook on our videos alone. We released 3 or 4. And we thought, well, that's a real achievement, and for us, even though we don't get paid for that at the time we're making it, it provides money in the future from booking gigs, people buying, and it gives us exposure to people buying CDs, etc. So, we want to achieve, our goal is, is breaking it down, is that when we do that video, we want that video to do the best it can do in order to get us the gigs, in order to get us the likes, and we want people to love it. That's really what we want. At the end of the day, we want people to get an emotion out of it. And, when we were doing In the Sunshine Again, which was essentially about homeless people, and we knew it, the story and the music was about that. We concentrated so hard because we wanted to get it right. We did nothing else for that period just to get it right. When we did Lift Me Up, it took 6 months to get 111 people in 3.5 minutes singing the song, and it was important to get it right. So when we started, we said, how long is this going to take? And we looked at it. Well, it could take six months to a year. And we just knew that, that's how long it took. So that's what we did. So you just got to go with it and make sure that every goal is achieved, correct? You feel you've done it.
Yeah. That is, again,
so that's our goal. It's just to do better, really. For more people to enjoy what we're doing, more for people to get a buzz, for us to connect with more of an audience, to sell more singles, to sell more albums, to go wider, to travel further, do bigger stages, and just be happy enjoying what we're doing, and being positive about it. That's a big thing for us. Yeah, is enjoying it and being positive.
Super admirable, man. And again, I'm so impressed by your do-it-yourself abilities. That's such a good trait. And again, I'm actually super surprised that you guys are shooting your own videos, because they look so good. So for you to have not just undertaken that skill, but also taken it to that level is crazy. Like pretty much all the videos that I've seen, they look like proper, full-on professional production. So it's so impressive that you're able to do that, as well as obviously making really good music, recording it, and stuff. But yeah, you mentioned color grading, you mentioned your lighting, setting, storyboards and stuff. It's a lot of work.
Full on. Full on.
Yeah. Well done.
There's never a dull moment in our house here.
No, but that's again why it's so inspiring to talk to you, because again you have that, it's like as you mentioned earlier, like it's like your daughter growing up with that as a natural part of it, being on stage, like seeing you guys on stage, going to all the shows and stuff. So of course, when you then decide to do that as a whole, every time there's something new you need to learn, then we just gotta find out how we do it. We don't want to pay this guy we don't want to pay this guy £14,000 if we can buy a camera for $2,000 and learn how to do it. If you buy the camera for £2,000 and you can shoot 7 videos for the same amount. So
that's right. Right, and that's what we did. And it just takes time and commitment. And the thing is, everyone talks about this, and you think, oh, that's it's a lot of work. Everything we've talked about is enjoyable. It's all good fun. I'm not sitting at a desk doing accounts, or not, somewhere I don't want to be, or digging time. I'm doing, what I like doing. Everyone's doing what they want to do, and it's all good fun. Even loading the van, it's great fun. Even washing the van, after a gig, you come home and clearing it out. Give you the memories of the great weekend you've had. You find straw all over your carpet, and you remember the festival where you were all falling around laughing on the straw at the backstage of a gig when you were talking to another band, having a great time. You know, it's all fantastic. You know, it's we're very lucky.
And all the McDonald's rappers.
And all the fast food rappers. You know,
I got on the job meals.
yeah.
Have you ever
shoes you find in the back of the van?
A pint glass every now and then.
That's right.
nice?
Sorry.
Have any of you ever had any sort of, I don't want to say a normal job, but have you ever had like a 9 to 5 job?
Yeah, we have like we've done sort of different things.
We did the balloting, which was
I've always been a musician. We did the balloting, which was set up just before we did this, and in fact, actually, it funded the band for the first couple of years until the band started taking momentum, and then we let go of it. And in fact, it's sort of around 2008 when the recession happened anyway. It sort of slowed our business down a lot, so it was a perfect opportunity. And I remember Yaz saying, Jodie's fine, look, are we going to give it a go? You know, we're like 30, early 30s, we need to do it now. You know, let's just give it a go and see how it goes. And that's been 13 years. And
I think I've always been self-employed because I'm not really into that whole employer thing.
I used to be a graphic designer. I suppose that helps a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
I
again,
had a few jobs that related to the media industry, but it's but I'm mostly here, and most of the time I am at home working on something to do with music or with you guys, which is the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm well and truly inspired by you guys, and again the fact that you're living the dream, like you're doing what you love.
Yeah. Like the great old Molly would say, we're very rich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe not in money, but we're richer than most, and we know that. We appreciate that, and we're thankful for it.
Yeah.
You know, not everything lasts forever. You've got to enjoy the ride, whatever you're doing. For the present, I think.
So has this whole lockdown, has that sort of affected your ability to make money, or sort of to keep the band or the business going?
Yes, it's been a tough one, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's a hole.
There's a massive hole financially and emotionally for us. You know, it is our bread and butter. The smaller venues we do around the year. They enable us to stay alive, so we can do the festivals every year, and all the gigs we do, 50, 60 a year, it pays all the bills. You know, it pays the wear and tear on the van, it pays the design programs, it pays the website, it pays the domain name, it pays everything. You know, and so at the moment it's really difficult. Yeah, and we tightened belts a long time ago, and we're quite worried. I mean, we've had these 2 night performances we've done donations, and people have been really kindly to say that.
Yeah.
But saying that, I was talking to someone the other day, you know, this time last year, from Christmas to now, we've done around about 22,000 miles in our vehicle, in our tour van. And this year we've done 280 miles, something like that. In fact, we're on the same tank we had in January, which is just So that's all down the cost of that amount of fuel for us would be a lot of money. So some costs obviously in levels that way we're not paying those costs.
Yeah.
Some we are
still. You know, we've been lucky enough to have a couple of little PRS payments from past performances come out, which are minuscule, but everything helps at the moment. We're just
keep running.
We're holding on. We're trying our best, and we're hoping that live music's going to come back, because that's where it's the essence. It's the fuel for our vehicle, really.
Yeah. Well, I suppose one of the only upsides when live music comes back is that it will be the smaller venue that will open up first. So because they aren't going to start doing sold out stadium shows. So it will kind of have to sort of start small. It'll be that little specialty brewery you were talking about where you stand and you play in the corner. So I'm assuming those gigs will probably be the first ones to open. That's what we can see here anyway. So all the gigs, all the venues that are opening here are the ones that sort of hold maybe a maximum of 200 people or something. So well, I suppose at the end of the day you just gotta wait and see, because there's nothing we can really do about it.
You can't get stressed about it. You just got to go with it and enjoy the time. Enjoy the time we've got.
Make it productive.
Yeah, productive. Time to shoot more videos.
Have you like, would you be able, under sort of the whole lockdown restrictions, are you able to then shoot any new music videos, or do you just come up with sort of different ideas?
Yeah, we've got to be clever about it. In fact, we've chosen the next song we're going to do. We've chosen a song which is, in fact, I don't think I'll sing it. No, we don't. I don't sing in it. We got guest artists on it, but they're not going to feature in the video. And the main of the video is going to be about these two girls.
Yep.
Which means that I can. It's quite difficult being in a band and then filming your own music video, because you've got to film yourself. So,
of course,
if you notice, a lot of our videos, if you notice, a lot of our scenes are separate from one another because we're filming each other. So you got to be a little bit clever. So the next song we're doing, which is called Too Many Boys, it's going to be quite a special video. Actually, we're going to put a few special effects on it, and it's going to be mainly Jodie and Yaz in it. And yeah, it's going to be quite big. We're really excited about it. We've done lots of tutorials in order to get here. So yeah, fingers crossed it'll all come together and it'll look amazing. The video will be quite impressive for a low budget music video. So that's what we're aiming for. So we've got time to do it. So, yeah.
So when you are doing these home productions, or like when you're creating the video, do you sometimes like when you're saying this one here will be sort of like a big production stuff? Like, do you go out and then actually spend money on different locations or different props or anything when you shoot the videos?
Yeah.
The last video we did was the Christmas one.
Yeah.
So that to us was quite a big production because there was a lot of people involved. We had
Mitch was there from the beginning.
We had another band.
Oh, cool.
So and we had another girl from another band, and John from Elena.
Organising the house with two cool musical friend that you knew.
So we had 14 people in the video. We had to find a venue, so we knew that we looked at places, and again they were like $2,000, and we thought the person we knew that had the biggest house, and that was Yaz's friend called Sophie, and she lived in Swindon in the middle of the countryside.
About 100-something miles.
Yeah, 150 miles away. But it was a big country house, and we thought, this is perfect. So we phoned her up and said, can we use your... Yeah, okay. And that's what we did. But they all differ. We
had to get a cameraman for that.
But we had to hire a cameraman.
We all did the video. There had to be points when we were all together in the video. So we had to get a cameraman.
We got a friend in God called Dan from Wiseman Pictures. He came in and did most of the camera work for us. We paid for him to do it, small amount. And he was great. Lift me up. We knew that we didn't have to be in it, so we could film. So it's just got.
Like in the sunshine again, both still.
Yeah, in fact, In the Sunshine Again was great for us. The homeless song and the homeless video was great because we weren't in the video at all.
All the back end.
Or any of the band were really in the video. It was about another character. And in fact, the guy who played the part was a guy who played bass for us about 4 or 5 years ago. A lovely guy who's now an actor and does a lot of acting work and stunt work. And when we thought of it, we thought, Timmy would be great for this. So we phoned him up, and he was fantastic. He came along, and I think we did a 3-day shoot. And I think it was the first video we'd done for a while that was 3 days, and we costed that one down to the 3 days, but it was just about driving around doing the venues, When we wrote Saint-Tropez, we knew it was, we really loved the song, we knew it was a good song, but we knew that we were going to have to film it in Saint-Tropez. So we thought, okay, and that for us was it was a £2,500 budget for that one video.
Wow.
And usually we like to keep our budgets under £500. And we buy props, when we did All About Me, the King suit, that was the theatre company we did it at.
Yeah.
Lovely ladies down there who live in our village, Seaton. Have you got crown? Yeah, we'll get you a crown. Have you got cake? Yeah, we'll get you a cake.
You got a throne?
Have you got a throne? Yeah, we'll get you a throne. Can we have the red curtain? Yeah, you can have so people really, really, put in, and that's what makes a good video. Saint-Tropez, we knew we were going to have to spend over £2,000 to get 6-7 people down there for 4 days, put them up in midsummer, which is really expensive, no matter whether you're in the tent or in a park bench. It's really expensive. So, you just got to And all again, it's all really exciting, writing down that you. And in fact, there's a funny story about the Saint-Tropez song. It's a long one, but we broke down there years ago, and we went there because Jodie was young and we wanted to go to a commercial campsite with slides. And we don't usually do that sort of thing, but we thought Jodie was young, we'll take her there.
Slide.
So we went to this place, and whilst we were there, we had this lovely new car we bought, this BMW, and the petrol pump blew up on the car. And the green flag had to come and take the car away. And we were without no car on the south of France. And they said to us, look, you can either have a car for the entire time we fix your car, or you can have accommodation. So we said, we were about 4 or 5 miles away from Saint-Tropez. So we said, well, we'll have the car and we'll choose our own accommodation and pay for ourselves. So Yaz found, just by chance, a little caravan in this lovely bay just off Saint-Tropez, which is like a mile away called Grimmer. So when we stayed there, and it took them, 17 days to fix our car. So after our holiday we had another 17 days in Saint-Tropez, and it was
we had not planned for.
We had not planned, and it was a complete eye-opener for us because everyone was in the UK, recession had gone, where's the money? We were like, it's here, it's in Saint-Tropez.
Yeah, we've seen it.
Boats with 5 floors and lights on, and cars coming out of boats and people dripping in jewellery and watches, and we were it made such an impression. And in fact,
everyone wearing white clothes.
The funny story was we were sat in a bar down there and we were blown away about 10 days in. And Yaz said, that guy over there, that chef, looks like my friend Ross, who's a Scottish guy I used to work with on Dartmoor in England at a restaurant. And I said, don't be ridiculous. Listen to what you just said. There's a guy over there in the south of France who's, and it turned out it was him. So
wow.
That night we got together with the people that ran the place and we had a great party and we played guitar, didn't we?
We all sang together.
And we came home, we got a car fixed and we came home and we wrote this song, Saint-Tropez, because we immediately, it was such an impression and we knew it was a good song. We wrote the song in 3 minutes, start to finish, we'd written the song. And we knew, and this was like 1 year, we knew the next year, we couldn't film it till next year because it was coming winter. So we got a gig there. So what we did is we tied in doing a couple of shows down there with the video in order to pay for some of the video.
Oh, yeah.
And we were really clever. So and we hired a proper tour van from a well-known company in London. I won't tell you their name. And a very expensive van, near £1,000. And we drove this thing from London. We got the whole band to London. And we drove from London all the way down through France to Saint-Tropez, and we stayed for 4 days, was it? And every day we were at a campsite about a mile away, and every day we drove into Saint-Tropez and we did the video. And then one day, on the last day we were in Saint-Tropez, when we came back to the van, this big tour van, there was a guy looking through the windows. And I said, can I help you? And he went, that's my van. And I said, no, I don't think it is, mate. It's a big tour van company. He said, no. I own the company that funds that company. He said, I own this subsidiary company. They're all my companies. I supplied all the vans, tour vans for the British Olympics, wasn't it? We were like, no way. He said, no way. He said, what are you doing down here in my van? And we said, well, we've written a song called Saint-Tropez and we've come down here to film it. He said, no way, I've got a flat on the front of Saint-Tropez. Were you the guys out there filming? We were like, yeah. He said,
nice to meet you.
Play me the song. So we sat in the van, me and the guy that owns this big company, never met this guy. And we played it in Saint-Tropez, and I thought, it's got a swear word in it, we're going to be in so much trouble here. And he sat there and he listened and he loved it, and he had a good laugh, and we talked for 5-10 minutes. And he gave us a card and he said, if you ever need me, give me a shout. It's lovely to meet you guys. It's been brilliant. So we thought, great. And the next day we packed up and we drove home. About 20 miles out of Saint-Tropez on the way home, the van we were in broke down and gave up. So we phoned the company and they said, okay, we're going to in fact, we're on the side of the road. So we phoned on the side of the road, and the French tow person came to get us. A lovely guy called Fifi, who I'll tell you about in a minute. And they took us to this industrial estate in the bottom of France somewhere, next to Lidl's. And it was, you've got to remember, it's like 45 degrees, mid-July, with a band, full of full of equipment, roasting, very expensive equipment.
About 7 of us. No food, all dirty because we've been shooting the video for 5 days, out of money because we've all, and we phoned this company and said, no, you've got to come and, okay, no, we're sorting it out. So after about a day and a half of this, the band had enough. And one of our friends that was shooting the video, doing the film work for us, a guy called Rich, hi Rich, he said, look, I'm going to take the guys home from the band. You sort the gear out, I'll sort the personnel out. So fantastic. So Rich went, and then we were left with all the equipment. Just us three.
Just us three.
In this van.
Anyway, so continuously we're on the phone to this British company, the tour van, going, look, when are you sending, what are you doing? He said, well, we're waiting for a car. We could have been there for weeks. We didn't know. So after about 3 days, we were getting pretty desperate by now. Just in this van. We were the only things we were eating were from Lidl's, and the guy that picked us up with Fifi, every time he came back in the morning, he'd bring us food from his wife that his wife had cooked. So we were giving him CDs, and the next day he was coming in going, oh, I love your van, I've been doing more food. You come stay with us. Well, we couldn't leave the van because all the expensive equipment. We had 10 grand's worth of gear in the van. So on the third day, we were like, oh, enough's enough. And the guy at the company, the tour van company, was being really difficult. And we hate to do this. So just on a whim, I thought I'd give it a go. So I phoned him up and I said, how do you think your boss would like to know how you're treating us? He said, you don't know who my boss was. And I said, well, funny thing. So I told him the story of how we met his boss that funds his company 4 days earlier in Saint-Tropez. And he didn't believe me until I mentioned his name. And he said, let me ring you back. And he put the phone down on me. And how long was it? 5 minutes later, hello, Ben, we're ever so sorry. We're sending a van for you now. 8 hours later.
8 hours later.
8 hours later, they sent another guy down in the van. We put all our gear across and they left their van there. But they were going to leave us there, essentially. And the story is that we didn't know it till we got home, but the van, we noticed the van we booked, they gave us the registration number when we first booked it. We worked for the van and we did all the paperwork for the boat. So when we came to get our van, the registration was different. We had to change it. And it turned out that our van that we hired had been taken up by London Grammar, the band, because they'd approached the company and they didn't have a van. What they said was, look, we'll give the good van to London Grammar and we'll give the spares van to N.U.M.B. So essentially, the guy who came and picked us up, who was an employee, told us this story on the way home, So that was the story of Saint-Tropez, the video of Saint-Tropez.
They were travelling a couple of hours, and we were taking a cross-country trip to the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah, and people say to us, we see the video, they say, that looks so glamorous shooting that video. It wasn't glamorous. It was an industrial state for 4 days. Eating croissants and crispy drinks, wasn't it?
That's a crazy story, man. It's great. It's a great story though. One thing I must say, surely, didn't you guys get some sort of compensation if the three of you were sitting in a van down there for 3 days?
Yeah, well, actually, in the end, we ended up we spent a long time talking to the guy. In fact, we phoned him every day, I think, for a week. So much so he was like, oh, it's you again. And eventually they gave us all our money back and they were very good about it. So
that's good. That's good. Well, again, yeah. But that's a crazy story, man. And, sitting there for, 3 days and you're being sort of fed by a little local guy and everything.
Yeah. A guy called Fifi, we'll never forget him. He was a lovely man and he really kept our spirits up. He'd come and check on us in the evening after he'd work, he'd go home and then come back. And in fact, we've still got his phone number and he texts us every now and then. We've sent him all our CDs and we're really grateful.
Fantastic. No, that's really good. I think that story will make that video sort of have a whole new perspective when we're going to finish off on that shortly.
We will.
All right, let's try and sort of round it off. If anyone who's watching, if anyone has a couple of questions, feel free to drop them in on the stream now. Let's round off here. So you've mentioned a lot of tips and tricks already, but something that I do love to ask my guests about as well is if you have any if there's any good advice, any tips or tricks, or anything that's worked for you that would sort of say this was a pivotal moment in our career, something that might benefit others. So if any bands are sitting out there that are sort of wanting to either trying to do their own videos, so sort of trying to elevate their business or elevate their band, have you got any sort of advice or multiple pieces of advice that would sort of help?
Yeah, I think the first thing, Yaz was saying this the other day, the first thing is just commitment.
Mental commitment.
Is mental commitment.
You might not be able to give every hour of the day to it, but you need to be prepared to some extent.
You need to be, and you need to be very proactive. You need to step outside your box every day. You need to learn things that you didn't think you were going to have to learn. You know, I think at the beginning of my musical career, I thought that someone would make my videos and that someone would do my makeup and make me look good and teach me how to dance and play the guitar better and sing. And in reality is you're going to end up doing most of that stuff yourself. You know, and you've got to enjoy it at the end of the day. All that needs to be really enjoyed, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? And I think, in essence, for a band, I think if you're not out playing, no one knows who you are. You need to be proactive continuously. You need to watch what other bands are doing, and you need to do it. It's not really about competing, but it's about putting your best foot forward. And everything you do needs to be brilliant, and every next thing you do needs to be better than the last. And every song you're writing needs to be better than the songs you've written before. You know, I don't believe I've written my best song yet, or we've written our best song yet, because we haven't written it yet. We're still writing it.
Right.
You know, it's being able to learn and being listened to others and you know, follow your gut a lot. And if it feels right, do it. And if it doesn't work, you tried it a couple of times, don't do it. But you need to, you know, I look at it as a snowball. And, you know, you start a small snowball off. And if it keeps growing, the snowball gets big enough, not only for someone to notice it going past them, but the whole town to go, look at the size of that snowball. But if you don't keep that snowball growing, if you ignore it and have a week off, then that snowball's going to, or 6 months off because, you know, artistic, whatever, then that snowball's going to melt. You're going to have to start that all over again. So, you know, when you start it, make sure about your choices, but just keep growing it, you know, keep playing, keep writing, keep doing the videos, keep meeting musicians, keep posting on Facebook, you know, keep these things up that are working for your band. I mean, some people say that Facebook doesn't do anything for them. We get 90% of our business, our live business, through Facebook. You know, we get a lot of our views through Facebook.
That would be something to have that presence in social media. I always keep that up, isn't it?
Yeah, just believe in yourself. You know, at the end of the day, you know, your project's different to everyone else's. You know, and if someone says it's crap and you're enjoying it, who cares? Do you know what I mean? You know, if it makes you happy, then who cares what someone else says? You know, if you want to get better, then, you know, make yourself better, you know, practice more. And I think that's one of the biggest ones for us is practice. You know, you hear people say, I've been practicing all week, and then they play, and you hear it, and you think, no, you haven't. If you practice every day, then you're formidable. You know, we know musicians, they play for 9 hours a day, and then you hear them play, and you think, whoa. Yeah, they you know they play for 9 hours a day because they're committed to it, and they want to be that good. Yeah. You know, you need to be, whether you're writing, you're playing the guitar, you're playing bass, or you're doing the videos, you know, you just need to be committed to what you're doing and engulf yourself in it and make it everything about your life, I think.
My advice would be, even if you wake up one day and you're feeling not so good, like sometimes you do have, is to just always push yourself to do that. And then once you're into whatever process you've started or whatever you're aiming for, you make sure you do it best you can. You come out sometimes on a bad day feeling so self-satisfied, and it can really like lift you out. So just always push yourself even when you don't want to,
and get used to rejection.
Because the result of that is always going to be better than what you started from. You're always going to be
it's a tough game, but it's a great game to play. It's a fantastic profession to be in. We're really lucky. I really love it, and I like learning. You know, we all like learning, and I like seeing this get better, and I like the videos getting better, and you know,
all different techniques, haven't we? I've been, you know, rapping or doing backups on raps for forever. That's something that we've developed and you've developed.
Yeah, we're all individually we're learning things. Jodie yesterday was, she's doing, what are you doing? So I'm trying to get this vocal technique with the mic, so she's learning, mic control distances in order to get the performance better. At the same time, I was learning about setting the focus on the phone, so when we were filming it didn't do that light and dark thing. So everyone's really working at it and just engulfing themselves in it, really, and believing. You know what I mean?
You've got to believe.
You got to believe. Never underestimate belief.
Believe, yeah. Well, it's all really, really good advice. And I think I've heard so many other people saying that consistency, as you mentioned with the whole snowball effect, like you just gotta keep plowing forward. You're gonna hit some resistance from time to time, but if you stop, the snowball will melt. I love that analogy, actually. That's really good. So let us try and just have a quick look here and see if there is anything. There's a couple of different comments and stuff. We got Max Bryan is asking, what is the biggest influence that identifies the N.U.M.B genre?
Hi, Max.
What is the biggest influence that identifies the N.U.M.B genre?
Or you as a band?
I would say it's got to be reggae, really. Reggae hip hop, really. It's the biggest thing for us. We always like reggae. It seems to me you can put a reggae stab in any sort of music and it just turns it into reggae. I like that. But hip hop, reggae and hip hop.
Any specific bands within those genres that sort of has been a big influence?
Well, I used to love things like when I was growing up, Public Enemy, the old school stuff, and then I don't know, later on, everything, Talking Heads, LTJ,
not Snoop Dogg.
We like Loud House as well, they're Australian band.
House.
Oh yeah.
Love Crowd House. I like Bob Marley, I like reggae. I like all things, Pink Floyd. We like a lot of rock, like Foo Fighters.
I like Erica Badu. She's soul R&B singer.
Lots of stuff. I like Exarte, like
Cypress Hill,
piano composer as well.
I say Marley.
Damon Marley, yeah.
Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah. Lots,
yeah. Lots. Well, there's obviously, and again, as you mentioned earlier, a lot of the bands you mentioned here from an influence perspective are from so many different genres. So obviously, it becomes like this hybrid end product where you call the shots. Like you said, like it's up to you to decide. Like how the songs and how the expression of the song should finish out.
If somebody asked what word as a genre, it would be fusion, wouldn't it? It would be fusion as a genre itself.
Yeah, alternative hip hop.
Yeah, there's so but there's so many cool elements in your music. So
That's
again,
a good question, Max. That's what it is.
Awesome. Then there is one. I got one here from Patrick saying, "Valeting and car wash. Would that be an idea for a song?"
Valeting and car wash. Yeah, quick. That's a great.
Car wash.
Car wash. Yeah.
You could do some with a bit of more reggae beat to it and a bit of some hip hop, some rap on top. And also, have you ever been asked to play concerts in Denmark? Patrick is.
We would like to.
Well, we'd love to.
Patrick, I can tell you, like Patrick is my is in my extended family back home. He's originally from Dublin, and he's obviously tuned in today. So I think that's why he's asking, because he said there's a couple of venues in Denmark eventually that you guys could obviously try and pursue if you wanted to go over there.
Patrick, we'd love to just get in touch.
Yeah, I can connect you guys after the show and you can have a chat. He's like that. He's from Dublin, so he obviously speaks English. And he's actually been involved in the music industry. I think he was DJing a lot when he was younger and stuff. So definitely, I can hook you guys up. I'm sure he would love to try and set you up overseas.
Something positive.
Have you actually, just on that note, have you played any gigs sort of in the rest of Europe? You obviously mentioned France and Saint Tropez and stuff, but
we did a couple of things down in Spain as well. We had the offer of doing a season in the skiing thing a few years ago. We were a little bit nervous of the cold weather and the snow, even though you like skiing. You love skiing. Yeah, we're not averse to playing abroad. We're not averse to travelling. We like it. I think that's part of the lucky thing about being in a band is being able to. It takes you places, doesn't it? You want to go places, and if you play there, it just takes you there, doesn't it?
Any plans of coming to Australia one day?
We'd love to. We'd love to.
You have to clear all the spiders away.
Yeah, just move the spiders out of the way for me. Anything insecty.
Just get rid of it.
Or I could just come blindfolded like that.
It's so funny. I was exactly the same when I first came to Australia. It was like, I think statistically 70% of the most dangerous animals, live here. But you never see them. Like, we got snakes and crocodiles and, spiders and all that stuff. But yeah, you don't see them. Like, it's but yeah, I'm not very fond of spiders myself, so I understand very well. They have these really big, like they get probably about the size of your palm, but they are completely harmless. But yeah, I'm not a fan. I would rather sell my house and live somewhere else than I would try and
Yeah, is that why you're moving?
Yeah, kind of.
In your house.
No, it's not. But I can.
Enough to make me move.
Yeah, I can tell you that though. If I cannot go to bed if I know there's a big spider somewhere, that spider has to go. Otherwise, I cannot go to bed.
I'm exactly the same. I'm afraid.
I've had a massive one of my own, like that big.
That's not massive over there.
See, that's not massive, but to me that is huge. Humongous. I nearly cried.
Yeah, it's a bit next level down here.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. But look, one day, you never know. Like, again, if there's anything I can do to help sort of, trying to share, like, by all means, share everything you can, your music and stuff. I'd love to help out and try and expose your music down here and to anyone else who is sort of watching in on the shows moving forward. I think that might be it for the questions here. But guys, man, look, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved hearing the stories. I love the whole Saint Tropez story. That's going to make the whole video sort of be a lot more enjoyable now. You sort of know the whole backstory from it. Just before we wrap off, can you guys just tell people where they should go if they want to sort of stay connected to N.U.M B, if they can, follow you on Facebook and stuff? Which is the main platform that people should go to?
The main platform for us is Facebook, and we are never underestimate musical belief.
Yep.
We're on Instagram as well. We're called N.U.M Official. On YouTube, we're called N.U.M Videos, or you can hit our website, which is nummusic.co.uk, which we're currently just getting up there. It should be properly live next week.
Yep.
You can catch us there. As you say, big thank you to Fake Guitars and THTT, which are our sponsors. Say thanks very much.
Yeah, cool. Is there any other shout outs we want to do?
Yeah, really, just really to everyone that's supported us. The rest of the guys we play with, thanks very much. And just the people that supported us through this, really, people out there that have been watching our live lockdown shows and sending some really nice messages of support and understand what we're going through. Sending the love back out to them. So thanks very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We hope to see everyone at a live venue really soon.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
And when was the new the next live stream was coming up? Pretty soon, wasn't it?
Saturday.
This Saturday at 7 p.m, which will be, I think,
that's like 2 a.m. here.
3 a.m. Aussie time, isn't it? It's 7 p.m. here.
Yeah. So I'm on the West Coast here, so we're 7 hours in front. So it's currently 10:15 at night here.
Wow.
Fantastic. But look, so I'm sure everybody would be aware of that again by the time they can go onto your Facebook and stuff. So you will be advertising it on your Facebook page anyway, for the live stream and all that. Fantastic.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed it. Do you want to do a quick shout out for Saint Tropez? I'm gonna put that on now here. So
yes, this next album's called Saint Tropez, about the glamour of living in the south of France.
Beautiful. We'll finish off here, and for everybody who missed the story, they can go back and watch the restream and get the fantastic story about how this video came about. Excellent. Thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in or listening along to the show. If you like the show, please don't forget to leave a 5-star review and subscribe to my social channels. It doesn't cost you anything, but it greatly helps me to build my networks and my chances of getting sponsors to keep this show running. If you want to take it to the next level, please head over to patreon.com/Stephen Helhammer and become a patron by joining the exclusive community there. You can start from as little as $3 per month. And for just a little extra, you get access to some fantastic features, outtakes, behind the scenes stuff, and much, much more. That's less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month. And that way you can help me build better content. I can devote more time to find awesome guests and just generally just keep everything flowing. If you want to be on the show or subscribe to my mailing list, send an email to steven@helhammer.com, and that is HELhammer.com. That way I can start sending you exclusive invites, random stuff, and messages that, who knows, you might enjoy. So that's it. Have a rocking day ahead, guys, and I will see you on the live stream or in your headphones very soon. Take it easy.